Hey everyone! Today we're talking about Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher with the most epic mustache in intellectual history. Seriously, that thing had its own gravitational pull. Now, I know what you're thinking. Philosophy? That sounds about as fun as watching paint dry in a library. But here's the thing, Nietzsche is basically the rock star of philosophy. He wrote things like, "God is dead and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger." Yeah, that guy. He's been quoted in everything from Kelly Clarkson songs to your cousin's Instagram posts, usually without anyone knowing where it came from. So join me, because we're about to meet the man who told the entire Western world, "You're doing life wrong, and here's why." Friedrich Nietzsche was born in 1844 in Prussia. That's Germany before Germany was cool. And get this, his dad was a Lutheran pastor who died when Nietzsche was only 5. So young. Friedrich grew up in a house full of women, his mom, sister, grandmother, and 2 aunts. Imagine being the only dude in that situation. No wonder he grew up questioning everything. This kid was a total prodigy. By age 24, he became a professor at the University of Basel, without even finishing his PhD. That's like getting hired as a CEO straight out of college because everyone just knew you were brilliant. But here's where it gets interesting. Nietzsche had terrible health. We're talking migraines, vision problems, digestive issues, the works. He basically spent half his life feeling miserable physically, which probably contributed to his philosophical question. If life is this painful, what's the point? Spoiler alert, his answer was not, there is no point. Okay, so what did this mustached genius actually say? Let's break down his greatest hits. God is dead. This is probably his most misunderstood quote. Nietzsche wasn't throwing a party because God died. He was actually worried. He was saying that European society had stopped believing in traditional religion and morality, but hadn't replaced it with anything meaningful. It's like breaking up with someone but having no idea who you are without them. Society was having an existential crisis, and Nietzsche was the friend saying, "Dude, we need to talk about this." The Übermensch, Superman, no, not the guy in tights. Nietzsche's Übermensch is someone who creates their own values instead of following society's rules like a sheep. It's about becoming your best self by overcoming obstacles and creating your own meaning in life. Think of it as the ultimate self-improvement project. Eternal recurrence. Here's a mind bender. What if you had to live your exact same life over and over again for eternity? Would you be cool with that? Nietzsche said if you can't say hell yes to that question, you need to change how you're living. It's his way of asking, are you really living or just existing? Master-slave morality. Nietzsche argued there are 2 types of moral systems. Master morality celebrates strength, power, and excellence. Slave morality, which he said Christianity promoted, celebrates humility, weakness, and pity. Now, before you think he was just mean, remember, he was challenging people to be strong and creative, not cruel. His most famous works include Thus Spoke Zarathustra, written like a philosophical novel where a prophet comes down from a mountain to teach humanity. Yes, he basically wrote philosophical fan fiction, Beyond Good and Evil, where he tears apart traditional morality and rebuilds it from scratch. The Gay Science. And no, it's not what you think. Gay meant joyful. This is where God is dead first appears. Fun fact, Nietzsche barely sold any books during his lifetime. He was basically the Van Gogh of philosophy, only appreciated after the fact. Here's where things get dark. In 1889, at age 44, Nietzsche had a mental breakdown in Turin, Italy. Legend says he saw a horse being whipped and threw his arms around it to protect it, then collapsed. He never recovered mentally and spent his last 11 years in the care of his mother and sister, unable to write or speak coherently. Even worse, his sister Elizabeth, who was kind of terrible to be honest, took control of his unpublished writings and twisted them to support her own agenda, including Nazi ideology. Nietzsche would have hated this. He actually despised anti-Semitism and German nationalism. It's like if someone used your diary to justify the exact opposite of everything you believed. Despite the tragic ending, Nietzsche's influence is massive. He influenced existentialists like Sartre and Camus, psychologists like Freud and Jung, countless writers, artists, and musicians. Today, his ideas show up everywhere. In self-improvement culture, the whole "become your best self" movement, that's pure Nietzsche. In therapy, concepts like turning suffering into growth, Nietzsche was all over that. In pop culture, every movie or show about creating your own destiny or questioning authority has Nietzschean DNA. His core message remains relevant. Don't just accept what you're told, question everything. Create your own values. Make your life a work of art. And whatever doesn't kill you, yeah, it actually might make you stronger. So that's Nietzsche in a nutshell. A sickly genius with a legendary mustache who told us to stop being sheep and start being awesome. Whether you agree with him or not, you've got to respect a philosopher whose ideas are still causing arguments at dinner parties 120 years after his death. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What's one Nietzsche idea you want to explore deeper? Thanks for watching.